And the best way we can.
Hey, I know exactly. How you been? You been doing good?
I've been good. How have you been?
Great. Just been super busy, but great. That's
I
for sure.
bet. Sometimes busy is good. And we've been following you. We see you. Yeah, we see you.
Good,
So
good, good.
yeah,
I'm
what
trying, I try and pop into your things too every
we
when I,
do.
get a chance. So,
You do. We're all busy trying to do our thing, and in this particular situation, kind of staying on top of what's going on with this Nolan Wells tragedy. So we welcome you back to the channel. We want to give people just a few minutes to come in. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe our algorithm. My people don't get the notification till later on in the live, and then people just start popping in. I don't know what that's
no
about.
problem, no problem. Yeah, we can give them a few minutes,
Okay.
That's for sure actually. So have you been doing when did you start I should say following this case, Nolan Wells?
Yes, so I started following it when oh shoot, probably whenever it came out that he was missing, that he didn't come back. So I don't know. I think I started about two Harlem, you help me, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Right when I'll tell you when, fugitive, when I heard Jackson County Sheriff come out and say it's probably a drowning. And I was
Ah, okay,
Yeah, I
gotcha.
was like, whoa, whoa, is that what we're gonna chop it up to? So now we're gonna have to, dig in and see what's going on because that it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go grab my iPad too and invite some of my friends
Going
and
on
then we
because
can just get
that it
started
didn't
because they'll
feel
come
right.
in.
Yeah.
It's just yeah. So I'm gonna go grab my iPad too and invite some of my friends and give me 1 second.
No problem.
Be right back.
How's everybody doing in the chat? Everybody doing good? Glad you guys can join in. Who do we have? Who do we have here? Hold on, real quick. Hold on. Who do we have? Julia. Please go follow Justice Talks with Julia. She helps me so much.
Justice Talk with Julia. You guys go follow Justice Talks with Julia. Justice Talks. Is it talk or talks?
Talk. Justice Talks. Justice Talks. Yeah, I'm on my live too, actually. So I'm on my live as well.
Oh, and I'm gonna put her out there in our chat too, since you
All
said
right.
it.
Yeah, she helps me do all my research. She's like my right hand pretty much. So
Cool. Shout out to you, Justice. We'll be following you if you can hear
yeah.
us on his live.
Yeah, she gets stuff. I'm like, how did you get that?
That's
Don't ask no
Harlem for
questions.
me.
I got it.
That's Harlem for me. I'm like, whoa, Harlem. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we're just going to get started. As my people come in, we'll shout them out as well. We do want to remember to go shout out Neek at Night on her channel, and also Court of Public Opinion. Go follow her as well on Instagram and YouTube. So those are a couple of people that we get information from as well. So you guys, we are welcoming Fugitive TV, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. I love how he tells us about a little bit in his intro about how he was a fugitive, and how he kind of like turned himself in, and he's kind of in the weeds with this stuff. So we wanted to have him on. We're going to ask questions and we're going to get his opinion and responses on Nolan Wells. So this is all things Nolan Wells. Go ahead and introduce yourself to my people.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm Ray Marcel with Fugitive TV. I started this channel probably about a year ago. Growing fast. I think I'm like 200 or 300 followers away from 30K now, actually.
Fast.
Yeah,
You went
so
in. You went in. You
I'm
went
growing
in.
fast, and one of the reasons why is because my backstory is I grew up a really good kid, but then I took a bad turn, ended up going to jail and doing all kind of things, and ended up being a fugitive myself. And I was on the run for 15 years, and moved to different countries. I was in Mexico. I went to Canada. I went to Iceland under different names. Um,
Wow.
I was working at the airport at one point under a fake name because I figured out how to pass security, and
Wow.
eventually I turned myself in, and because things were starting to catch up. So I turned myself in, and while I was on the run, I was creating businesses actually. So I
My,
figured out how to start businesses by registering LLCs, anonymous under certain states like New Mexico and
right.
things like that. So
Oh,
that's what I was doing, and I
whoa.
started. So I started businesses, and eventually I had to turn myself in. Like, hey, I can't. If I'm growing, things are starting to catch up. So turned myself in, and uh judge gave me pretty much he saw that I was on the run for so long, and he was like, wow, you really didn't commit any crimes while you're on the run. Like, you kind of changed yourself. and
Yeah.
and not only that, I also had to give him some little inside information of how I was able to cross the border, things like that. And
Ew,
because
did you?
yeah, they interrogated me for 4 or 5 days. So because
Of
a lot of
course.
stuff I did was federal. So
Okay, I was always wondering. I heard your story, some of it, and I was like, but when he said he turned himself in, like, did they make him do like a whole bunch of time? Did they make a deal with him? Like, what happened when
Yeah,
you
so I ended up
turned yourself?
so we ended up hiring one of the best attorneys. All this stuff happened out of the state of Colorado. So we ended up hiring one of the best attorneys in the state. Actually, this attorney was on Kobe Bryant's case when he had that violation charge a lot of people forgot about against that young lady in Alpine or wherever it was, Colorado. So we
Uh-huh.
went up hiring him. He was not cheap.
I
But
bet.
he was not cheap, but he ended up digging into my prior charges
Uh-huh.
that I originally was in trouble for, and found a bunch of discrepancies with my prior charges. That, see, I had a public defender with my prior charges, and my
Mm,
public defender didn't really dig into all that. So a lot of these charges, he felt I shouldn't have been locked up or in the first place, or whatever I was going through. And so he ended up digging into all that stuff. And once he dug into all that, he pretty much presented it to court, to the judge, and we all worked out a plea deal. And my
oh,
sentencing was actually open to the judge. So
oh,
I was originally facing, oh my God, I was facing 22 years. 22 years was what I was facing originally. But they had a plea all the way down to 2 years, but it was up to the judge.
right, right.
And yeah, I'm sorry, 4 years, but up to
Uh-huh.
the judge. So I was prepared to do. I was like, and in state of Colorado, if it's a nonviolent crime, because it's all nonviolent, you only got to serve 33% of your time. So
Okay, okay.
so I
So
already had, yeah, so I already had like this little time served. So I already knew I would just hurry up and get right out. So I was
yeah,
ready. Like, if he gives me the max, I'm gonna hurry up and get right out and
yeah.
continue what I'm doing anyway, right? But the judge heard the story. He heard everything and heard everything I went through. Had me talk as well. And then it was the same judge I had for my original charges. And he goes, you have showed that you have grown up so much. You took accountability. He goes, and I was reading all the letters, because I had like 100 letters from people saying that, hey, this guy is this, he's helped me out, he's done this. So
Right.
he said, I'm going to give you 2 years probation. And he goes, but I want you to serve another 90 days in jail
Of
just to think
course.
about what you did.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I got 2 years probation. That's been done. I'm done with that a long time ago. And then 90 days in jail. And he promised, he told me he wanted me to write a book. And he said, if I make a movie about it, make sure whoever plays him is a skinny version. So
You that was good, because I mean that was a lot of years, and he could have threw the book at you and been like, you violated us
man,
on every level. So that was good. And we like the fact that, like Harlem says, that you can see cases from another perspective, just because of your experiences. So I want to just welcome everybody in. Thank y'all for being here. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like. It's a free way to support this channel. Also, go follow Fugitive TV if you're not already. I mean, he's growing pretty fast, but if you're not, go over there and follow him on YouTube and on TikTok as well. So, Fugitive, I want to jump right into this,
yeah,
Nolan. I want to jump right into Nolan Wells. So let's just kind of do a backstory of. I want to start where his mother had to end up calling and reporting her son missing on her own. So I want to start there. We could go back further, but I want to kind of start
yeah,
there and move forward. Because the simple fact of I'm frustrated in that they claim to have come back, and without him, and had his phone. And I was under the impression that they took mom his belongings, where we found out they almost had to strong arm them to get his phone back, right? When the friend goes over there. And then other topic before we move forward is the keys, that his keys
Yes.
were at his friend's house. His car was there. Love you. His car was there. And you, dad comes to get his keys, and you tell him, I don't know where his keys are, but he's my really good friend, like my brother. And then somebody had to be on the phone to tell you that it's on top of the PlayStation. Tell me your thoughts about mom having to call and report. And I want to talk about the cell phone and the keys, and then we'll move forward in the story from there.
No problem. Yeah. So I was, because I do multiple cases, and I
Yes.
mentioned this before. So I do multiple cases, and I got a bunch of emails asking me if I can break down Nolan Wells, because that's what I do. I break down cases. So I knew about it, but I never dug into it.
Mm,
And the funny thing is, there's another case that's very similar to Nolan that kind of got bypassed, except it's dealing with a white female, and it was in the news media for a little bit, but then it kind of vanished. So I was
okay.
dealing with her case at the same time Nolan Wells kind of popped up or
Right.
whatever. I think her name was Kinley. I have to look up. I can't remember what her name was, but
Okay.
her situation real quick was she was on a boat partying at a lake in Kentucky. And allegedly, we still don't really know the full details of it, was she got off the boat to use the bathroom. And some people were saying it was her and another person. Some people were saying it was just her. And
Mm-hmm.
then some sort of way the boat took off without her, but it was like 10 people on this boat. And then later on, they report her missing. And they're like, what happened to her? And then they find her body like a couple of days later.
Was she with black people or with his white friends?
These were all white folks. She was white
Okay.
too. So
Okay.
she's white. These are all white folks or whatever on
Okay.
this boat. And she disappeared. So I was like doing that because she was like a few days before Nolan, actually.
Uh-huh.
It was like,
Uh-huh.
so, summertime, everybody's on the boat. So then I see Nolan, and people are emailing me, hey, want to do Nolan? So I get into it. The first thing I noticed was there was so much hearsay, so much. So
Yeah.
yeah, so much. And so I'm going through TikToks, Facebooks, Instagrams, news source media, and I'm realizing, and then even with the news source media, which I brought up in another video I did, actually, I said one news source media actually said that the girl that he met on the island, that Katie brought the parents the phone. So I read that, and I'm thinking, okay, Katie is the young woman that Nolan met on the island. So
Right.
then I go to another news source media who's reputable, and they're saying, no, the friends brought the mother or the family the phone. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, so which one is it?
Right.
I got two reputable source medias telling me two separate stories. So I don't know which one to believe,
Right.
because usually I look at a case. If News Nation says something, I'm like, okay, that's probably the truth.
Mm-hmm.
CNN says, okay, it could be right. Let me see. And I'll look at 2 or 3 articles just to reference them both to
Right.
see if I can pull the correct information. But I realized there was a bunch of conflict. So nobody really knew how she got the phone until they started doing that media run and
Mm-hmm.
then the press conference. And now we're all like, okay, this is how she really got the phone. And I do nothing about the keys whatsoever.
At that point, we didn't, right? We didn't
Yeah,
know
no,
nothing about the keys at that point.
yeah, nobody knew nothing about the keys at all until they brought that up. And I started thinking, oh, wait, that's when it started getting real. Because at first, I'm reading all the stuff. And this is what my mind's thinking. I just got done doing the other case with this young lady who fell off the boat, or whoever what happened. And a lot of people don't realize this happens a lot. I live in
Mm-hmm.
Florida. People are boating here all the time.
Right.
And people out here, we have an island. We have an island called Beer Can Island, because you go out there, there's nothing but beer cans everywhere,
Yeah.
whatever, right? And
Really?
yeah, nothing but beer cans. So people jet ski to the island, all kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
But every year, 1 or 2 people end up dying because they get drunk and they drown. And
Yeah.
sometimes people don't realize that they're drowning in the water. It happens. You don't
Yeah.
realize it. So I'm thinking, before all the information came out that about the keys and whatever, I'm thinking, okay, it could be possible that he could have drowned. It could be very possible. They're drinking. They got pictures of them and stuff like that. Just like with the other girl's case I'm dealing with, it's very possible.
Right.
But then when they start talking about the keys, they had to hunt down his phone. And that's when I was like, hold on, wait. So you guys are supposed to be, oh, Nolan's like a brother to me. But
Yeah.
you didn't think about calling his parents to be like, hey, his keys and cars here, or at least his cars here? The whole car's in your front yard. And what you gonna leave the car there? I mean, hey, Justice. So
Hey, Justice, thank you. We'll be following you as well because of Fugitive. He got your back.
always.
Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it.
But yeah, I go and I'm like, what's going on? But now I think that there is something, that's being, covered up, especially with the phone and keys.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where I was. I was like, okay, well, I understand the fact because I'm not knowing yet. I understand the fact that you came back, he wasn't with y'all, and you took his mom his phone. That was good. We appreciate that, right? Come to find out at the press conference, a lot of stuff came out. So that was the point of the phone. And here's where and then dad gets on and talk at the press conference and he tells about the conflict with the keys. So why would the Jackson County Sheriff's Office come out and say, "Oh, it's probably just a drowning," and just drive right past it, right? They're going to really literally, if all of this wouldn't have came out, I feel like he just would have chopped it up to a drowning. So my
Mhm.
thing was, my thing was, okay, I'm really upset now because the least you could have done was take her son's phone to her. But the most you could have called 911. You could have made a call to parents and said, "Hey, we can't find Nolan. We're not leaving here without Nolan." Those are friends. So there weren't his friends. But here's the catch. And I'm going to kind of skip a little bit forward is that we had a live last night, I believe, and Harlem and I was talking back and forth, and Harlem was like, "I think he probably came back to shore because of this picture that's floating around now." So I want to know your take on that, on about the picture. They said they saw him in the swimming pool, but then others are saying he never came back to shore.
Mhm.
But mom is saying her 360 showed him everywhere, here, there, and back on shore.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on that? And I'll tell you mine's after I
So
hear.
on the picture, I started doing a bunch of when that picture came out. Actually right before I got on this link, that's what I was doing was because I'm doing a video right after we're done with this, and I started looking at the background, exactly where the picture came from,
Yes.
when it was posted. I started looking at all this stuff. The one thing I did notice is that when the picture first came out, there was that rumor of the picture was from 1 a.m. July 5th. 1 a.m. July 5th.
Okay.
That was the rumor that came out. So that means it would be that Sunday because July 4th was on
Right.
Saturday.
Right.
So immediately I start thinking, wait. If the picture's from 1 a.m. on July 5th, his mom reported him missing July 4th or 11 something p.m. or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah, and I think she got the phone back around 11:55 p.m.
Yes.
So I'm like, this picture can't be from 1 a.m. There's no way unless everybody's lying, so
Right.
so there's no
Exactly.
way. So then I'm start looking at where this picture came from. So I went to who posted it. I forgot the kid's name. Gotta look it up. Evan, I think it was. Evan posted the
Evan, I believe
picture.
it was Evan.
Yeah, Evan posted a picture. I'm looking at the original threads because somebody actually sent me the threads that he posted it on, the Instagram threads, what it is. So I have the original Instagram threads where you can swipe through and see it. Now I don't know if it's from the same day of July 4th, but I do have a screenshot. I just don't know if it's legit or not from the threads. The
Uh-huh.
threads say the picture was posted. You know how you post something, it'll say 3 days or a week?
Uh-huh.
It says 1 week from those threads. So I don't know if that is legit. There's a lot of things you don't know that's legit that's going on right now, whatever.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
yeah, so I don't know if it's from that same. Obviously, we know it's not afterwards. It would have to be before everything happened. It would have to be, right? Or it would
With
have to be another day. but
Well,
we just don't know like what's going on.
we don't know. Well, because she's the girl that said that she saw him there at
Mm-hmm.
the pool party. It was after they came back, is what she's saying. And they came and they had a pool party.
Yep.
There was a other story that when they came back, they were all in the same place for 4 hours, is what they saw, according to people's locations and stuff. But they said that they came back after that, had the pool party, and this is where everything took place. And she actually saw him at that pool party after leaving Horn Island. So I'm thinking, okay, is this picture real? I'm like you. Ooh, is it AI? Did they just put him in there? Like, I don't know about the picture.
Yeah, because there's so much hearsay with this case. You got to figure out exactly what is real and what's not before I start
Absolutely.
assuming like, hey, and I know what you're talking about where she said, they went back to the pool party. My thing was, I want to know what time was it? What time did they go
What's
back to the pool party? Because the
yes,
mom said the location, the phone showed two different locations.
yes.
Snapchat showed this, 360 showed this.
How?
Yeah, and one of my viewers made a great they made a comment on my video, and I didn't think about
Uh-huh.
this. They said it could be possible, which could be true. Somebody could have signed in to his Snapchat from a different device.
Oh, that's right.
Didn't even think about that, and I was like, you know
That's
what, that
right.
could be
Me either.
possible. Yeah, I didn't
That
even
is
think about that.
possible.
That can show the two different locations
Now
actually.
that's possible.
So I was like, huh, and but I want to know, like, I know on 360 because I have 360 on my phone. It
Right.
shows you the time when you're at a place and how long you're there. It literally will show you the exact time of, let me pull it up right now, of when you're somewhere and how long you've been sitting there, because I use it. And so I want to know, because I keep bringing up 360, but I would love to know, the time. So like for me, it says I've been home since 5:50 p.m. and it gives you where I've been at since 5, and that's free. You don't have to pay for that. So
Right.
if I made stops during the day, it would show you the stops that are made. It will
And the
show
time.
you every time. It will show you this time between that time.
Right.
It gives you all the history. It gives me yesterday. It
Yeah.
shows I was in Orlando yesterday from this time to that time. So it shows all this stuff. So I
Right.
would love to know the times, you know, that he was supposedly or allegedly at the pool party. Hey, if it matches the time the 360 says. Snapchat will show your location, but I don't know if because I don't have my location on Snapchat. I don't know if it shows you the
Yeah.
time like that.
I don't have mine either, but I have 360 like you, and I'm curious about the time too. Harlem says everything for me has changed. I'm waiting on the autopsy. Yeah, like it's so much discrepancy. It's so many discrepancies. But I think that's right. At the If we had the times, then maybe we could lock it down a little bit better. Then we
Yeah,
know.
yeah, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't know if his phone shows him at the pool party at this time, and that girl's like he was there. Then we know she's telling the truth. We know it's facts. We know, but we don't. She never gave an exact time, and then they never gave an exact time of where his location was at. So right now we are all lost on the time. Everything, we don't know exactly when they got to Horn Island. We
Yeah.
don't know that. We don't know exactly when people left Horn
We don't,
Island.
I was gonna say we don't know when they left.
So everything's a question of exactly what happened. And I think a lot of the time, because it's missing, you do have people trying to fill in the gaps. That's what happens
Yeah,
with these
and
cases.
I think but what bothers me is that these friends or associates are coming out and they're saying their piece, but I need some hardcore evidence at this point. Like hardcore evidence that you were at that pool. What time was you at that pool? And did you really see Nolan? And did you really see a fight? Was the mom really there and drunk? Like I need, like you're telling us that, but how do we get the hardcore evidence of that? And I think that the said that he was beat up and then just left there bleeding out at the place, and
Oh
maybe
yeah, that post I read that post too,
yeah,
and I'm
and
like,
maybe when his dad went to get the keys,
what?
his
I don't
body
know.
was there. Like it's all kind of discombobulated right now. So I think I would say as well, like if the autopsy will tell us a lot. It'll tell us, war one, was he already unalive before he was in the water, or did he drown because his water's full with long? But he wasn't waterlogged, according to the U.S. Coast Guard or Navy.
Yeah, he said he didn't appear like he was submerged in water or something like that. The one thing I want to ask about him though too is, well, because he was looking down, right? He said he was doing a flight. How high was he up to notice? That's I want to know too. That part, because it'd be a different from being up to being down on the ground with him.
It would be a difference.
It would be a difference. And then if a person did, because I'm not an expert, but usually a lot of times when people will drown, they'll kind of sink a little bit. And that's how the water gets to their lungs. And then they'll start to flow. The gases will rise them back up. And then certain currents will push you towards the, how here in Florida, you get a lot of wildlife that ends up on the shore dead all the time. So push him back onto the sand. How long was he on the sand in the sun to dry off from the top to make it look like maybe he's not waterlogged, so.
Right, but here's another thing, Fugitive. They said at about 6:15, they flew the drones over there 6-ish in the morning. They flew the drones over where his body was found. He wasn't there. At 8:45, when the Rangers come, they find him. So 2 hours in between.
It's like I said, it's so, and like I said, and I remember the first case I was telling you about, I had to Google it real quick with the Kentucky.
Okay.
Because it's very, very similar. Her name was Marley Kinney, 19 years old. I'm saying it's very similar. 19, and the exact same thing. They go back looking for her, don't know where she's at. We don't have timelines or nothing. And then 2 days later, they find her,
That's crazy.
And you're like, you're partying on a boat with 10 people. How you not see? But you know what? I do have a personal story real quick.
Okay.
I had a friend, God rest his soul. This is when I was in Canada. And we were at like this kind of like man-made lake thing, and they had a cliffs and stuff. And people were there camping. I'm not a camper. I never really camped maybe once in my life. So I ended up leaving because I wasn't spending the night in no tent. But when I left, the next day, people are calling my phone saying such and such passed away. It was like the next night, and I'm like, what happened? And people were saying that they were partying and they were doing whatever they're doing.
Right.
Nobody realized that he wasn't around till hours later. They're like, what happened to him? Well, there was a cliff. People will go to the bush to kind of use the bathroom at the bush by the cliff. Come to find out, he fell off the cliff because he was drunk. Fell to the bottom. So nobody knew what happened to him. People thought he wandered off, and he was the type of guy, he would just wander off places. So nobody really knew. And then what happened was his girlfriend got worried, like, I haven't seen him in a few hours or whatever. So then when she got worried, and everybody started, but I think they didn't find him for like maybe 9 hours because nobody knew he fell off the cliff or whatever. So from that personal story, and I left before all that happened, but from there, I kind of can see if, because a lot of people are questioning, nobody saw him. But there's so many cases out there where people are drinking and you're not paying attention to what everybody else is doing, and something could happen. So it's like, what's going on,
Yeah.
But then you have the keys in the phone. You're like, okay, what are they hiding?
And with you sharing that, okay, I could see that. But here's my thing. People saw him. The girl says she saw and talked to him. Mm-hmm. He said he's going to go back to the boat and where his friends was, and they're going to go back to the shore, to mainland. The guy said, he said he was going to talk to him, said he was going to stay because he's with the girl. Neither one of those parties know what happened to him, right? Mm-hmm. So between him leaving, either her going back to them or him going back to her, what happened? Like, I don't know what happened in between there. It's just so sketchy. Now, they said that also that he didn't drink, he didn't use drugs or nothing like that, but the other kids were drinking. Do we think maybe possibly he was like, shoot, it's my last day anyway. I gotta go Monday and do what I need to do. Might as well. We're having a good time. Did he drink, wander off? Like, I don't know.
Very possible. I mean, his mom said it was his last hurrah before he went back to school.
Yeah. So maybe
it's possible. And my question. So I was listening to a judge talk about this earlier. Actually,
Who?
he's a retired judge out of
Carlos?
Mississippi. Yeah, Carlos.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I
Yes.
was listening.
Yes,
I'm
he's
gonna
good.
message him actually,
He's
but
good.
I was listening to him, and
Uh-huh.
one thing he brought up, which I refer back to the Kentucky lady. The
Hmm.
difference in the two was when the police went to go look for her in Kentucky, they made an arrest the same day.
Uh-huh.
They arrested a guy for drinking. He got arrested for drinking
Yes.
and on the boat. They
Yes.
said, "Hey, we know you're out here looking for her, but you ain't supposed to be riding this boat around drinking." And they
Right.
made an arrest. So if
Right.
these kids are out here drinking and
Underage.
underage,
Yes.
at least why was there no arrest for that? Because
Right.
once you arrest somebody, you can maybe the truth might come out.
And that's exactly what we said, fugitive. We said, okay, why didn't who bought the liquor? Let's talk to
Yep.
that person. Who bought the liquor? Shouldn't that be an arrest? All right. Or if one of the children that were just however brought the liquor, why are we just if we get one arrest because they're going to be so scared, this is where the truth is going to start coming out because no one wants to be in jail. And the police and interrogation knows how to get them to talk. So if we could get one arrest, we may get more information. Like Judge Carlos was saying that there should be arrest by Tuesday if what we hear is true.
That's a big if, and it
But
doesn't help because we have a judge involved.
we have a judge involved. What do you think about the judge?
I mean, I actually right before I was looking, I know her whole background. I was looking her up.
Uh-huh.
I know how long she's been. She hasn't been a judge that long, so I think
Well,
maybe 4 years or something like that. I think it was or
yes,
3. And
yes.
it's a family judge actually.
Oh,
Yeah, so she does family court. She had her own family law firm before this. So I was looking her up, digging her. I'm digging through the whole family. But the one thing I noticed is the counties are small. There's not that many not a lot of judges, but there are, but not a lot. So
right.
it's possible everybody knows everybody. They're all mingling together. They're probably
Yes,
all having lunch together. She
yes,
knows the prosecutors, probably. I'm not saying she does, but probably,
but
which
probably.
means she probably has some sort of connections with some of these investigators too, because the county's not big. So
Yep.
everybody knows everybody. We all know this.
Yep.
And if everybody knows everybody, and she's a judge, and let's say the investigator who's investigating this, wouldn't that
Mhm.
be a conflict of interest?
Conflict of interest right there. Here's what we said, fugitive. We said, do they know something? And they came back to shore, and the judge and her son and the friends and their parents got together because she's the only one making comments. She's the only one coming out saying anything. She's a judge. Did they get together? Did they get their stories together so that judge can protect whatever has happened? But in the interim, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest where she cannot be a part of this because her son is involved? We have to have her not involved. And here's the
Yeah.
other thing. I said this kind of feels not good to me, the same way it did with Carmelo Anthony because of the jurisdiction where they all know each other. They wanted to keep it in Collin County, and look what happened to him. Now we have a judge, we have a parent that is a lawyer. So they know each other. They have dinner together, allegedly. What I think, my opinion only. And so are they going to cover up something to where we're not going to, even if the autopsy came back, the independent autopsy came back, and it said that maybe he had some drugs in his system, maybe he had some alcohol in his system. I don't know. Will they chop it up to his carelessness because of who they are in this court and not look deeper and do a real thorough investigation? If any of that makes sense that I just said.
Oh yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That's the issue we're dealing with the kid of a judge. So right there, that's probably going to be some sort of conflict because, like, if they know each other, if we're friends, and I know your kid did something wrong, you know,
Yep.
you might try and okay, your kid did something wrong, but let me, I'm going to make it like seem like it's not as bad,
Yeah.
type of thing. So I know you have a good kid and he made a mistake this one time. I don't want to ruin his career and ruin your
Yeah,
legacy of his last name and your last name. You just got this job 3 years ago, type of thing. So
absolutely.
yeah, let me help you out. So, and I was thinking, I've been thinking about that the last couple of days. I'm like, there, there wouldn't be probably a fair investigation if she knows these people, which she probably does.
But she probably does, which what makes me thankful for Ben Crump and the team. They're going to make sure there's a thorough investigation done, right? Which in Carmelo Anthony's case, he didn't have that up front. He just had him and this attorney, and they didn't do him right. He didn't get a fair trial. But in this one, I'm thinking they're going to do their investigation now, because I think that the county is forced, their hand is forced to do so now, because Ben Crump came on the scene, because these people came on the scene. So they're not going to allow you just to run through this and just count it up as a drowning or whatever, because now they actually got their own independent autopsy. They have a lawyer in Ben Crump's office that is combing through all the evidence and any video, text message, anything sent to their office. So I think they got a hand up, but we're still talking about this county in Mississippi where they're all in authoritative positions to make decisions, which is scary to me.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you can't. I've said this plenty of times. You don't want to make the case about race, but you can't. You can't forget the history of Mississippi's system. You can't forget that.
Which is,
and this is not the only case. There's been plenty. Who was the young kid? I did a video on him. The kid that was found hung, that went to college from Delta University. You didn't hear about that? Yeah, look it up. Delta University. It was a kid, black kid found hung right there in Mississippi.
Yes, I did. I heard that.
And you saw it on the news a couple days, and all of a sudden you didn't see it no more.
Yes, because they swept it under the rug.
Yeah, so, and you really didn't know what happened to the kid. If you did, they kind of was like, oh, he did it himself and kept going. It's kind of what they did. They didn't want the university to look bad, or whatever it is. But there's, but there's plenty of cases, not just him, that you think about, like, and they just sweep it under the rug, maybe because the cops are lazy or the cops don't want to do their work.
Yep.
But
Judge Carlos, he was like, I'm sorry, but we ain't letting you sleep on this one. We're not going to let you do them parents wrong. We going to show up. And if it ain't arrest by Friday, Saturday, we will be in Jackson County and we're going to march and we're going to do what we have to do. We're going to call on you. We're calling you to make an arrest. Do your proper investigation. You don't get to get by on this one. We're fed up. We're tired. I love him. I love his.
Yeah, and when he brought up the arrest, he was like underage drinking. That's what made me think of the other case. I was like, he's right, because the other guy he's out looking for the woman. They arrested him right there on the spot for drinking.
And the phone too, the stolen phone, because you have a video with him saying, "What the f you doing on my phone?" Like,
yeah, did you see the kid? The kid came out today talking about that was actually my voice.
It was my voice.
Did you hear that? So it's like so much stuff coming out. It's like, oh, so it's your voice. So why are you coming out now saying this?
Exactly. So you've been hearing that because that video surfaced not too long after the conference, the press conference. So watch yesterday, you coming out saying that was my voice. But no matter what, you had his phone and you didn't have permission to have his phone. And Judge Carlos Moore is saying that's another arrest, even though it could be a misdemeanor, it could be an arrest.
Yeah, that's theft right there. And and you know who didn't lawyer up? Katie.
Katie didn't lawyer up and cooperating.
Katie didn't lawyer up, and she cried, and her parents both cooperated. The other ones though, which I say I get it. The mom's a judge. I get it. Lawyer up for everything. Yeah, don't say nothing. I get it. So I can't sit here and say I don't understand, because I tell people all the time, even if you're innocent, because I've seen so many people innocent be in jail. So many. Even if you're innocent, get you some sort of attorney before you talk, at least. Because you don't want to say the wrong thing. But go talk, but get one first.
Right. I'm with you on that. I get it, but I need you to go talk.
Yes, go get an attorney, tell the attorney what happened, and then y'all go together and go talk.
Yeah, The smart thing is to do, just to
Yeah,
have your lawyer in case they try to get you to say something.
they got it because they will.
But go tell that woman what happened to her child.
That part.
And so Harlem, and then Bad Bunny was like, it's like, for me, it's so many stories. Whoever come out with another story need a lie detector test. Even though they don't hold up in court, we need a lie detector test because now we don't know who's telling the truth.
You know how they, do you know how they use the lie detector? So they did one to me twice. So you know how they use it against you actually?
How?
All right, so I'm gonna tell you exactly how they use a lie detector test against you. It's not about the test; it's about the investigator and how good he is. That's the key to it. That's why the lie detector test is like admissible in court. They don't really use it because it goes off, your adrenaline and stuff like that. What they do though is you could be telling the exact truth to everything. They never show you the results. They don't show you the results. What they do afterwards is then they start interrogating you, making it seem like you lied.
So making you think you lied or convince you that you lied.
They make you think you lied. And then you start thinking, oh, they caught me in a lie. Oh my God. And then you start spilling the beans or telling the truth. Or even if this is how innocent people get caught too. Because even if you're telling the truth, then now you start thinking like,
you second guessing yourself.
You got it. There was a Chris Rock comedian. There was what did he say? He said it on a long time ago when he was on stage, which made a lot of sense. He said cop pulled him over and he, in his own car, made him believe he stole his own car because the way the cop was yelling. He's like, maybe I stole this car. Maybe I forgot and I really stole it. And it's like that because they will get at you and they will actually, even if you told the truth, they would make it seem like you're lying. Yeah, because
that's why I said if they arrest one person, they're going to get them to talk and tell what really happened.
So yeah, it's all resting in that power of the investigator. And they don't ask you like direct questions. It's kind of open-ended. The only direct question they ask you is like your name. We say your name, date of birth. But yeah, it's kind of like a lot of the questions are kind of open-ended to where it can be this way or that way. And I think they do that on purpose, you know, whatever.
It's almost like you can go in that interrogation room, but either way you go, they're going to find a way to railroad you, whether you're telling the truth or not, to make it fit their narrative, whatever their narrative is, that they're going to make you look like what you said fits their narrative. And that's the hard part. That's another reason to get attorney. We get that. Get your attorney. So, but do you really believe at this point that do you believe that it's possible that these boys or these friends had a fight with him? I have two questions. That they had the fight with him and they know what's going on. Do you believe he came to shore and that's where the fight ended and this is where he passed and they took him back out shore where they found him? Wouldn't that seem like a lot of work?
It would. And here's the thing. I thought about this a long time. Do I think they took him out? Because some people think they took him out to the island probably purposely to do something to him. I mean, anything's possible. But I don't think they took him out to the island because there's too many people out there. You could take somebody else somewhere else.
Too many people.
Yeah, you saw all those people partying. But do I think maybe something could have happened to where they didn't mean to him to, get his life taken?
They got scared.
Yes, and I refer this to the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer. All those kids are out there drinking, accidentally hit the kid or the guy with the car, and they had to cover it up. You know, and that's the whole movie was about. So, do I think an accident happened? Yes. Now, where did it happen? That part, like you said, it would be a lot of work. And if they did take him to shore and bring him back out to the water, did an adult help him decide to do this?
Did the judge? I mean, we ain't saying she did. We're saying did she? This is our opinion.
Because we're talking about kids here. None of them's done this before that we know of.
So who's directing them?
So let's bring them back over here and let's do this and do, it'd be interesting to find that out if I would like to know if any adults knew before they called the police. That's all I like to know. Like any of their friends' moms and dads knew before they called the Coast Guard or they did, you
I
know?
think. Give me 1 second. Let me take you to my husband. Hold
No
on 1 second.
problem.
Hold
No
that thought.
problem. What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining in the chat. I really appreciate that. Tammy, yeah, that's my email right there. Thank you, Sunshine Lady. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, you're
All right.
back. I'm just answering some of my chats here.
Okay. Okay.
Go
Yeah. Talk
ahead.
to
All
me.
right.
Hey, fugitive chat. So I think I like that thought. Like, who knew? Was it possible that an adult knew? Because I'm thinking they were, if something happened, and even if it was an accident, they were so scared they had to tell somebody. Like like the first thing when people get in trouble is like, I need to call my mama. You know, who called their mom and told their mom? Was it a phone conversation with an adult, and who's telling you, who's guiding y'all through this to do the things they said they went, um and that they passed by the house and the judge was cleaning the boat at a weird time of the hour. Why was she cleaning the boat? Because they had taken him back and he was bleeding out and maybe cleaning. Like, it's just so much. It's just so much. But what Harlem wants to know, Futures, is what do you think of the girl on Janice's live that talked before the press conference? So she knew all the information before the press conference even happened. What are your thoughts on that? Because we tend to believe what she's saying because of that.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, I did a interview with the one who with Janice. Actually,
We
did an interview.
saw, we
Yeah,
saw
did an
that.
interview with Janice, and yeah, some of the what the girls said, you know, especially with the messages being deleted, or the I forgot exactly what she said about the phone, but she said something about the phone that lined exactly up to what the mom said about. Oh, that's right. She said that they had to go retrieve the phone. That was before we all knew she had to retrieve the phone. So she said that, and then the press conference comes out and all the media run, we had to retrieve the phone. So just from that comment alone, I was like, this girl knows something.
She knows something because she doesn't know the parents.
Yes, she
She
knows
didn't.
something.
They tried to say they knew each other. Mom was like, "We don't know each other. Like, I haven't spoken with that young lady. We don't know each other." So she knows something. That's somebody. I think she's going to be a key witness to something, because I think she knew what she was talking about. I just believe that. I like how Janice is protecting her from things, right? Um,
Yes.
but I really could appreciate that from Janice. But I think she knows a lot, and it's fair to say, make sure she stays safe. And then also Harlem says that not just the judge, there is a parent in the sheriff's office too that they probably talk to. So that's what we were saying. So you probably got there's a lawyer that's a parent, there's somebody that works in the sheriff's office that's a parent, and there's this judge parent. So they're all
Yeah, it's
intermingling.
all a conflict of interest. Even if somebody does go to jail, and let's say there's a trial, or even court, they would have to move the court probably into a different county out of that jurisdiction. You would have to, because there's no telling who knows who.
You got to take
You
it
have
out.
to.
Whatever they end up doing, it cannot be in Jackson County. You got to move it out, because it's not going to be fair. And if the judge, the lawyer, any of those parents think that their child could be in trouble, it's not going to be fair. We're not going to get honesty. And then Bad Bunny, when we was talking about the lie detector test, she said, sad story, she said she took one and passed it even though she was lying. She passed the lie detector.
Yeah, see, yeah. So yeah, that's why they don't do it. They don't. That's why it's not a fact they use in court, because
Yeah,
of that right
you can't
there.
depend on that. You cannot depend on that.
That right there, yeah, because you can pass it when you're lying, and you can fail it when you're telling the truth.
Right,
So it's all about how
right.
nervous you are, pretty much, is what it is. And they hook you up, and if you're telling a lie, some people get all nervous, and
Yeah,
he's telling a lie. But some people are just nervous altogether, so it's
yeah,
hard to
period.
tell.
That's
So
just their nature.
mhm.
But that's funny. She was like, I was lying and I passed it. So that tells the whole story there.
Don't tell
You
us the crime you did. Don't
Why
tell
did
us.
you have
Don't
to take it,
incriminate
Bad
yourself.
Bunny? Why did you have to take it?
Yeah,
Um,
Bad Bunny, don't incriminate yourself over here, all right?
That's funny. That's funny. Well, a fugitive. What else have we? I think I wrote down everything that I wanted to. I think we talked about everything I wanted to discuss with you. I think the two main sources were the two. Well, a few of the things I wanted to hear what you thought about the judge. I wanted to know what you thought about those keys. The judge and her child is one. They're the ones to me that seems deeper in something, like something about this judge that don't sit well with me. And I feel like she told all the other parents to hush and let me just guide the if anybody say anything on social media, just let me go out there and do it. Cut off all your social media sites, get rid of them, whatever you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't go on social media. I think that's the advice that the judge is giving. Allegedly, my opinion.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And if one's a lawyer, and if one's a sheriff,
Yeah,
they we have three people right there that know the law better than your average person. So
yep,
they know all three of these people know whatever you say can and will be used against you in
can
a
and
court of
will be.
law. So
That's
stay shut. Don't say nothing.
yep,
So like I said, it makes sense of why they're not saying anything and why everything went silent. So I mean, I understand that.
yeah,
Um, I just would like, if there really was nothing to hide, if they really were innocent, then
yeah,
have their lawyers come out and say, hey, this is what
yeah.
happened. They didn't do it, and this is what's going on. This is the timeline of the events. Then have the lawyer come out and say it.
Have your lawyer. You don't even have to come out and say it.
Yeah, just have the
Have
lawyer,
your lawyer say
have
it.
somebody say something for you,
And nobody said, not even the people you secured your representation, and not even them have come out and said, not even in your defense,
Yeah.
to defend what you're saying. So what are y'all doing?
And I do cases all the time where, especially a defense or an attorney will come out and say, make a statement on behalf of the defense. We see it all the time. So it's not abnormal for, this for something like that to happen. It
Yeah.
really isn't. So if they were to hold some sort of a press conference or they made a statement saying, hey, these are their, or if not only not that, have the lawyer go meet with the parents, go meet with
Right.
Nolan.
Because here's another thing. I'm glad you said that. Why has nobody went and talked to his mom? Why haven't at one point when I felt like that your children was with her child, nobody consoled her. They'd come and say, we love him, we care about him. But she said she hadn't heard from none of them. She hadn't even heard from the sheriff's office at that point. It was earlier on. So I'm like, y'all can't give her that just that respect. And they didn't want to go talk to her because I feel like they know something. Even if it was accidental, they were
That
scared.
part, yeah, that, and and like you said, even if it was accidental,
Yes.
even if what one person came out saying a group of friends was trying to do substance. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
that one,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and we're not saying Nolan did any, but what if one of the, and, I thought about this too. One of the friends was like calling himself, because I've seen it before, being funny, and Nolan doesn't want to do anything. Oh, but let me
Yeah.
put something in his drink real quick, let him have some fun. And it happens. It
Listen.
happens.
Listen.
And then he passes away. You know, I know a girl who took half a Molly and passed away in Denver,
Ooh.
Colorado. Half a Molly, her first time ever, and passed away because whatever was in it, she was allergic to, had allergic reaction, and everybody was messed up, high and drunk, and didn't get her to the hospital.
I
And
don't
she passed
see,
away.
that's crazy. I don't listen to like these mediums that they have, but here's what's so crazy. One popped up, all kind of stuff is popping up about Nolan. And whatever her title was, I was like, let me see what she's talking about. I don't believe in mediums. I don't know. Maybe people do, and I don't hold that against you. That's your belief. But she was like, Nolan was telling her, it could, I don't know, that's just whatever you believe, but
Yeah.
that Nolan was telling her that he doesn't drink, and he was telling his friends, no, I don't drink. And that the friend with the long hair had a drink in his hand, and Nolan was like, they was like, just taste it. And he said when he tasted it, he started feeling crazy, and that's what happened to him. This is what the
Interesting.
medium said. I'm like, okay, you're it's totally what you believe, but we need to get to the to the sources out here
Uh,
and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I
Harlem,
mean, you don't need a medium to say that. I mean, I'm not a medium,
no,
but
we don't need you to say that. So
it's
you've
like it's
listened to
possible.
I was gonna go there, but I ain't gonna go there. Anyway, Harlem said, I think the kids have been sent to cause confusion on social media. That's another thought, Harlem.
Yep, that's a theory
Right?
that's going on to right now. Actually, you would be surprised that I got about, oh my god, maybe 8 or 9 emails in my inbox with both sides, actually. Because when cases like this happen, I start messaging everybody I can to try and get their input,
Right.
is what I try and do. And I got emails telling me, like, one person was saying that, hey, it's normal for a kid to leave their phone on a boat because there's no cell phone reception on the island and such and such and such. And I'm like, all right. Then I got another person emailing me saying, well, I have my phone with me all the time and I get great reception on the island, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, and then somebody else sent me an email. They were saying, well, we weren't there that day, but we've been there before with all the kids partying. They're always doing rough horsing and rough housing with each other,
Yeah.
drinking and doing narcotics and stuff like that. So I'm getting all these different emails
Yeah.
from, like, you
That's
don't even know
crazy.
what to believe.
But
Like,
you
okay,
know the truth of the matter, I don't even leave nowhere without my phone.
yes,
And especially if I'm telling you I'm gonna stay back here, y'all gonna leave me here on this island. You can't take my phone. I'm gonna need my phone.
Mm.
So I don't know. It's all crazy. It's all crazy.
One person's email, which can make sense. They said, which I never thought about this. They said on that island, there's nowhere to use the bathroom. There's no porta potty.
There's no porta potty.
So what people will do is they'll go into the lake and go further off to go use the bathroom. Is what they'll do. Because the person told me you don't want to be right there because you step in, so you have to go way in there to where it's like, high up to do what you got to do, especially if you're only doing the number. If you're only doing the number one, everybody, but they go high up, so you don't see what you're doing. Then you come back, you're wet. Nobody knows. But he goes, so he said there's nowhere to use the bathroom. So he was like, it's possible that he could have went out there to use the bathroom and was drunk and got, swept up. I was like, I didn't even think about that part. He's like, there's no porta potties. He's like, that's what you have to do. And I was like, interesting. And that was funny because that's what happened to the other girl I told you. She went out to use the bathroom and didn't come back.
And you can't get on no boat and get back to shore real fast. So you got to do something.
So you got to. So I was like, oh, that's an interesting theory right there. I didn't even think about that, the bathroom part.
Yeah. I think at this point, like even, oh, baby, I think even at this point, there's just so many different stories. There's so many different scenarios, so many different people's opinions that I think that really where it starts, and I'll go back to this, it's going to be the autopsy that tells us if there was foul play.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think they're going to be able to, because I know the official one didn't come out yet. So that one didn't come out yet. Right. And then the other one, and then I know the tox reports, that doesn't come out right away. That usually takes a while. Depending
how long do autopsies usually take?
Autopsies it depends. It could be anywhere from a couple of days to a month to 2 months. It depends on how bad the body is, the situation. It all depends really. I've seen it in a couple of days come back, and I've also seen it months to come back. How bad, if the body was, let's say, burnt beyond recognition or something like that, it could take a while. But toxicology reports, that's different. Like if there's any drugs in your system, that can take a while. That can take a couple of weeks to a few months, depending on, how far active they are.
Yeah, which I think they were probably going to test for that too. To see
I'm pretty sure, especially the one, the independent one in Washington. I'm pretty sure they're going to check.
They're going to check for everything.
Yeah, they're probably going to check all that, and they probably Colin Kaepernick, who paid for it all, he's probably paying for them to get a rush on that, like get all that stuff done now, so as fast as you can, so we can have all that, which is a good thing.
Yeah, what'll be interesting to me to see what the state's autopsy is going to say compared to the Washington D.C. one. I'll be interested.
To see if it aligns up.
How it lines up. Yeah.
And if it doesn't align, what then? I wonder if Ben Crump is going to tell us right away and hold up if it doesn't align, or is he going to save that? I'll be interested to see that. Will he want the world to know, or he wants to keep that in his back pocket as ammunition?
Because they ain't gonna give us everything.
Yeah,
they ain't gonna give us everything.
Yeah, because
I don't know. I've been looking every day. Is it back? Is the autopsy back?
Because me, if I was a lawyer, I would be the assassin. You wouldn't know what I would have. I would keep everything in my back pocket just to catch you in lies. I want to catch you in all the lies you can. And
Yeah.
then, oh, bam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, for real.
perjury
Which
arrest.
which would be smart if he found out that they didn't align, just to hold it to see how they're gonna move from
Yeah,
here,
that's
right?
what I'm saying. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
hold it
yeah, yeah, yeah,
all. I would
yeah.
not make it put. It would. I know it would kill people, but I would hold it. This is what the FBI does. This is why the FBI has such a success at convictions. Because, and I tell people this all the time, difference between the FBI and your local police. If you're selling drugs, let's say you're on a corner, you're nickel and diamond, and a cop sees you nickel and diamond, they're probably going to arrest you, take you to jail, and maybe try and get you to snitch on where you got it from. FBI is going to see you nickel and diamond and let you keep nickel and diamond. Like, all right, he sold this. Okay, he sold this today. He sold this tomorrow. They're going to let you dig a big hole.
Right.
Then by the time they get you, you ain't got no choice but to snitch on who the person is above you.
Because they done piled on you.
Yep.
They got
And then they go, okay, okay, now you're snitching, right? So let's send you back out to the corner to keep nickel and diamond for this guy up here for the,
yeah.
yeah, they'll keep that on you. And that's why this
Well,
conviction rate's so much, because they know what they're doing.
it's a cold world out
Yeah,
there.
so like me, if I was a lawyer, oh man, I would take it from their handbook in a minute. I'll just pile up all the evidence.
Yep,
You wouldn't
everything.
even know I have all this.
Sorry, public, we can't tell you now. You will know soon enough. I'm gonna have to hold this one. I gotta hold this one.
I'd be like, just
really
wait. I will hold a press conference. We got the autopsy reports back, and just to let you guys know, we are waiting.
We're waiting.
Commercial break.
Yeah.
But what? Oh.
And then when it's time to bring the heat, you got all this you've been holding on to.
Oh yeah.
What about this? Oh yeah. But what about this right here? What this? Yeah.
Uh-huh. They could have it back right now. Well, we don't know. It could be back literally in their hands right now. We just don't know. But that I could see them doing something like that, because I would do that. I would want to see how they're moving. I want to see if they're going to make some mistakes.
I'm like that. I want to be in the cut and just watch. I want to look.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch everything that they're doing. Like what are they doing? And then have my ammunition ready for them, because at this point they can no longer do people wrong. Why do we have to do people wrong? Just tell the truth, just get it done. But that would be a perfect world, right? It's not happening. It's not happening. So
yep. And then if the second autopsy comes back and is different from the first, let's say it is different.
Yeah.
You have a bigger problem on your hands now.
Yeah.
You can't just hand what you have probably over to the investigators. You can't. So now you have to go into the whole system pretty much. You have to, because you're like, okay, these people lied. The investigators lied. The detectives lied. Everybody's lying. So you can't just hand this off to Detective Smith, who's originally doing the case. I'm like, hey,
right.
Now you have to go over people's heads now and be like, okay, now we have to get internal affairs involved. You got to do this type of stuff now. So
because
it's a whole different ballgame.
You guys didn't want to follow the correct protocols and policies and procedures in the law. So since you didn't, now we got to start from the top down.
Yes. You got to go all the way top now. And I don't know how the top you can go with that. That part I don't know, but I do know you got to go over their heads. You have to.
Yeah, somehow. Well, Fugitive, thank you. This was, every time you come, it's always a good conversation. I'm loving it. We're going to continue to follow the story. We're going to continue to follow you, of course. And also, who is your friend? What's her name?
Oh, Justice Talks with Julia.
Yes, we'll
Justice
follow
Talks
her
with
as well. I
Julia.
think Harlem's already gone over there and followed her. And so we appreciate
Thank
every
you,
time
Harlem.
we
Thank you,
ask,
Harlem.
like, yes.
And everybody on my live, go follow Black Link Magazine. All right, go follow her. Black Link Magazine.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you, because we know how busy you are. I see you out here grinding every day. And I'm like, oh, it's so many stories he's covering. I don't know where to start. It's so good. It's good. Yeah.
That's how my brain works. That's how my brain, what is, I try and help. I try and help everybody I can, is what I try and do. And then I get so many emails too of people. The hardest thing is I only have enough time in a day to do like 1 or 2 cases. Yeah. And I got to choose the 1 or 2 out of the 30 that I see that day. Yeah, that's the hardest thing.
That's the thing about, Because if you can't take them all, because you got to dig and dive into the whole everybody that's
You
involved in
got
every
it. Yeah, it's not
situation.
just reporting on, what you see on the news. I, like you said, dig and dive. I do background reports on everybody. I do background reports on the victim as the suspect. I
Yes.
do it all because I need to see the
Yes.
full story, the parents,
And who we
everything.
can
So,
get on the phone call and who we can ask this. It's a lot to
oh yeah,
dive in. Yeah.
it
So
is.
we appreciate your work. We appreciate you saying yes to this interview. So we're gonna go for now because I know you're going to make a video and we got to come over there and watch.
Yeah, about to make one in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Fugitive, so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Don't forget, if this is the replay for you, put hashtag replay in the chat. Again, hit the like button. It keeps us in the algorithm. Go follow Fugitive. Go follow Justice. Y'all have a good Monday evening. Thank y'all.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Thank y'all. Excuse my grandbaby tonight, y'all. See you later.
What's going on, guys? Let me stay for a couple minutes and tell you guys thank you for being in here. Thank you so much. San Juan says first autopsy, no play. Actually, there's no official report. Let me double check on the first autopsy. There's no official report on it yet. There was a rumor that was spread around first autopsy. Let me see. Because it's actually public. You can actually look too. Let me make sure it's not there yet. Yeah, so far, I haven't seen anything yet. But the rumor started with the first autopsy report. I can't remember who it was. But what happened was it was a medical examiner, and the medical examiner said that they didn't see any foul play. But that was when they first saw the body. That was before the autopsy. So somebody heard that and pretty much ran with that and started saying autopsy, this is what happened. No, it was actually a medical examiner said they didn't see any foul play, which is different than an official report. Let me see. I think theirs is public. Let me see. Worcester County, Clarksville. Let me see. Because a lot of these autopsy reports are public. A lot of people don't realize that. They might keep his private, though. They might keep his private just because of everything's going on right now. Let's see. What county was the Nolan Wells case in? I always forget. What county was that? Jackson County. That's right. Jackson County. Jackson County. Let me see here. Let me see if theirs is private. I mean public. I'm on their website now. I am on their website now to see if it's public. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm actually going to, right when I get done here and hang up from here, I got a video that I'm about to shoot, another show of Fugitive TV for you guys. I'm about to shoot so I can post it in a couple hours. All right, so let's see what this says. I'm trying to see if the autopsies from their counties are public or not. Some counties they're public, some are not. All right, so let's see here. So you can request a report. So the Mississippi Department of Public Safety limits full autopsy reports to legal next of kin, district attorney, and investigating law enforcement agencies. However, portions of the report may be subject to public records request. So portion of the autopsies in Mississippi, not the full report, but portions of it can be public, but you have to request the report. And in order to request a report, you actually have to, let's see here. Are they doing it by snail mail? Looks like they're doing it by snail mail. Looks like you have to send in the actual report to the front. Yeah, I don't think you can even email it and ask. You have to actually send in the report physically. But you do get a portion of the report. And I'm trying to see if there's any way you can see when a report is ready. Is there any way that shows when the report is ready here? This is what I'm trying to see now. Office of Forensics and Laboratories. How to know when it is ready. Let's see what it says. Autopsy report, Jackson County, Mississippi. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking to see if there's a way to see when the report's ready for that county. I don't really report much. I think this might be the second case I've done out of Mississippi. Probably on the second one. The first one was the kid out of Delta. That was last year sometime. So there's no way to tell online if their reports out of Mississippi, if they're ready or not. You literally have to go and send in. You have to send in a written document asking for the report. Thank you, Black Link. I appreciate that. You guys go follow Black Link Magazine. She is always great company. She's had me on a few times, and this is the third time I was on her show. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that too. So yes, the first autopsy report officially hasn't came back yet. So officially, we are actually still waiting on that first report, just like we're waiting on the second report. So if you hear that rumor of there was no foul play, that is only because the medical examiner said that before the autopsy report was done. So I guess the medical examiner just kind of looked visually, at the body we don't know if this was at the scene. That part I don't know about, because a medical examiner will come onto the scene too. So it probably was at the scene, because usually they don't talk while they're in the office, looking at the body. Usually it's at the scene. So visually they said there was no foul play, but that was without doing an autopsy, flipping the body over and things like that. Good show. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I got another video I'm uploading tonight. I'm uploading a video tonight about the picture that was posted with Nolan in the pool. So I'm going to tell you all about that. Everything I found about that. Plus Nolan's friend did an interview. So we're going to talk. I'm going to upload a video. That's going to be part of it too. And also there was a judge out of Mississippi who's retired that said some things that made sense. And I'm going to talk about that too in the video that I'm going to upload as well. Now I also got a video that I'm going to upload on the Ciders stuff because there's some stuff that updates on the Ciders too. Because you guys know that's been following me for. I was doing a Ciders case too, so I'm still gonna. I got a video coming on that. So hope you guys stay tuned. Tammy, I'm reading what you're saying right now. Keep an 8-year-old from what? And his mother, I want his IQ tested. You talking about the mother's IQ or the 8-year-old's IQ? Whose IQ are you talking about to be tested? Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate that. Whose IQ are we talking about being tested? Speaking of the Ciders, they have low IQs actually. Just the Ciders have low IQs. A lot of people who live like that have low IQs. Just made me think about that. Well, before I go off of here, any questions you guys can think about asking me? I'll answer any questions before I go off here. Like I said, I'm going to upload another Nolan video. The video is coming in about an hour, 2 hours. So I got a video coming to Nolan about the photo, the Friends interview that came out today with Good Morning America. I realized they didn't do the whole interview. They didn't show the whole interview. I wonder why. Some timelines that aren't matching up that I'm paying attention to. Because some timelines aren't coming together correctly. So I got another video coming for you guys on that. And I saw another video on the Ciders case too. So I got another video uploaded in the Ciders case. Oh, so many cases, you guys. So many cases. I wish I had the time in the day to give you guys 3 or 4 videos. Unfortunately, I don't right now. Hopefully soon I will, and I can start giving you at least 3 videos a day. Hopefully soon. But as of now, oof. Because you guys don't understand. It takes, when I do these cases, it takes me about, oh man, I do a background report on the victim. I do a background report on the suspect. Depending on the situation, I'll even do a background report on the victim's parents and the suspect's parents. If there's friends involved, I'll do a background report on the friends. I'm looking at criminal history. I'm looking at addresses if they align. I'm looking at any phone numbers if they align. I'm looking at social media. I'm looking at everything. Now, some people ask why I do a background report on the victim. I've had that question asked before. Why do you do a background report on the victim? It's the victim. They died. Well, here's the thing. A background report on a victim sometimes will tell the story of what happened to them. When a person dies, do you think that law enforcement, the investigator, would just focus on the suspect, or they don't do no background on the victim? They start doing a background on the victim a lot of times first, because that's the person they have first. They have the victim. As soon as they find out the victim's name, they start running a background check on them. They start seeing where their address is, who their next of kin is. Then they start seeing if they have any criminal record, because all that stuff pops up. So usually the victim is the first person to even get a background check ran on before the suspect is, because they know the victim a lot of times before they even know the suspect. But when you run the victim's report, okay, sometimes a suspect will pop up. If there's any criminal reports with the co-defendant, if there's any criminal reports where the victim was an informant or told or snitched or something like that, a lot of times the suspect will pop up from doing the victim's background report. Sometimes you have to know why the victim was there at that date and time. Sometimes they're running a background report. If you see an individual dead on the side of the sidewalk on the corner, okay? You see him dead on the corner, and you're wondering why the victim was on the corner. What happened to the victim? Oh my God, the victim's on the corner. You know, he was shot. Whatever happened, whatever, right? A lot of people are focused on, well, who shot him, which is true. Who shot him? Who shot him? Well, let's do a background report on the victim. Come to find out, the victim was a drug dealer. The victim's on a corner. That's where he was selling his drugs at, was on that corner. Oh, guess who shot him? Maybe the people that owed him that he owed money to. You get what I'm saying, guys? So sometimes you have to do the background on the victim so you can see exactly to put the story together what happened. Because for you guys that never been to trial, when you go to trial, what happens? The prosecution puts a story together. Investigators get all the facts, all the statements, they hand it to the prosecution. Prosecution puts a story and timeline together. So when you go to court, if you go to trial, they have the story. Now you have to defend yourself from that story. But that's what the prosecution does. They'll put a story together. So you shot Jamal in the parking lot because Jamal owed you money from the kilo that you fronted him 2 weeks ago. Now you got to defend that. So that's why you have to do the background on the victim too. So I did a background on Nolan Wells. I had to make sure. You don't take people's word for it. And guess what? Nolan Wells is a good kid. I can verify that. This man has never been to jail. I can verify that. I did a background on other 3 kids that he was with. Now, on the background report on their end, they were good too. Now, some of the family is in law and things like that. They could have covered some stuff up and they could have, let's say, sealed some things. We don't know. But from what I saw, there was nothing. I did a background report on the parents. I did all that. I bet you I know, and I'm going to show you in my video I'm putting up. I did a background report on the judge. I looked at her background. I know exactly how long she's been a judge for. I know what kind of judge she is. I know exactly the practice she was doing before she became a judge. I know her reporters that are in the courtroom. I know the stenographer who's in the courtroom of her courtroom. I know the district. I know it all. That's what proper investigative journalists should be doing when it comes to these cases, is doing all this, digging into everything so they can report what's factual and what's not factual, what's nonsense. And that right there takes a long time, guys. It takes a while. April says, sometimes a victim makes themselves a victim. Hard fact of life. That is true. You are right. I did a case, I think it was last summer actually, on, what was her name? I think Tamika Thompson, I think it was, out of the DMV area, like the Washington, Virginia area. I did a case, so I did a couple videos on her. Her body was found in like some wooded area with trees and stuff. Okay. They arrested the guy who did it. The guy who did it was this, I believe if I remember correctly, he was actually an illegal immigrant from South America. And a lot of people were saying, which she doesn't deserve to die. Nobody deserves to die, right? She didn't deserve that. But a lot of people are like, why did he do this to her? Why did he do this to her? And, and things like that. Well, I got on the case and I do my check. I did background reports on her. And unfortunately, what I saw in her background report was prostitution. She met the guy at 2:45 or 3 a.m. in the morning as the guy was leaving the club. Now, this guy, I want to say maybe was 42 or 39. I can't remember. She was only like 19 years old or 20. And when you look at the pictures of both these guys, or her and him, you'd be like, why is she talking to him? Because beautiful girl. And then you have him that looks like he just came out of World War III. He just looked scarred. He had scars on his face. He looked like bad news. So when you're meeting somebody at 3 a.m, that usually you don't meet or don't see, what are you doing? It's one or two things. You're selling drugs or something else is going on. And unfortunately, there's something else is going on. And that was how they met. And like I said, it's unfortunate. She shouldn't have lost her life. No, she shouldn't have. But because I did the background, I know the full story of what happened. So when people are like, "Oh, what? You know, how did he?" Well, that you have to admit reality sometimes. Hey, you have to admit it. Some people do what it takes to survive. Some people are just knuckleheads. Some people whatever, but doesn't mean you have to die. Sunshine Lady says, and the perpetrator always plays the victim. April says, quite honestly, I think that should have been done on Nancy Guthrie. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? What do you think me and Julia did on Nancy Guthrie when this first happened? What do you think we did when this first happened? When this first happened with Nancy Guthrie, what do you think me and Julia did? We ran the background report on Nancy Guthrie. I think it was day 2. That's why we were the first ones to come up with that name of TA that people are getting in trouble for now and getting sent cease and desist letters because it aligns with her name is in Nancy's background. So if you would have ran an actual background on Nancy Guthrie, it shows her name on Nancy's background. There's a couple other names that show up that other people aren't talking about, maybe because they don't know about these names or they're not doing proper investigations. There's a couple other names that me and Julia found that associates with Nancy too. We've just never said them, but there's a couple other names out there when you run her background report. Love you too, Tammy. Love you too, Tammy. April says, tell me, Ray. I don't want, so other people can get cease and desist letters and possibly get sued. Once that video I made got taken down by YouTube, I knew right there I was treading on waters. Once that video I made YouTube took that video down within a day, I knew right there, ooh, I am touching on something touchy. I am touching on something touchy. Let me be careful. Let me be careful on how I say it and what I say and what I put out there, because somebody doesn't want something to be said. That was the first and only video I have ever did that got taken down with no explanation. I've had 2 videos taken down, maybe 3. And each time YouTube has given me an explanation. They've said, hey, cut this part out or this and that. I've had videos flagged like demonic, like anytime you go on, for example, the Ciders case with the 16 kids, all those videos I've done on Ciders have been demonetized. Okay. So even though you see one that shows 40,000 views, I really ain't getting paid or nothing for it because YouTube doesn't like you to talk about underage individuals in a violent manner. They will demonetize that really quick. And this is why some creators are careful with the words and how they say certain things, but they let me know like, hey, this episode you did has to be demonetized, such and such. But that one video I did, no explanation, just nada, nothing, just vanished. No, it used to be there. No, it was paused. Not as grayed out. Nothing. It was like I never made the video. Just gone. So when I saw that, I was like, ooh, somebody doesn't want me to say nothing. Somebody doesn't want me to say nothing. And I think the reason why I never got a cease and desist letter was because of how I worded things. I'm usually careful on how I word things. And how I word things, if you word it the right way, it's a little harder for them to send you something like that. And a lot of times, if you put out something that's public, that's the key, guys, public information, meaning anybody can go onto a website and Google, like let's say a mugshot. Most of these mugshots, 95% of them are public information. You can Google somebody's mugshot. It's right there. The mugshot is produced by the county. So for example, how I was talking about the inventions that she made, it's public. All you have to do is go to the website. It's not private and it's there. It has to be patents. When you invent something, it has to be private. Whoever invented this phone, the patent is private. Whoever invented the MacBook right here I'm on, the patent is, I mean, not private, the patent is public. It has to be public. All that's public. It will say pending, approved, whatever it is. So I didn't put anything that wasn't public. So I think that's why, in my case, I never got one of those. Instead, they just took the video down. Mikey says, and people believe we have actual freedom. Yeah. We do have freedom to say whatever we want, but we don't have the freedom of the consequences after you say whatever you want. We have freedom to say whatever we want, but we don't have freedom of the consequences after we say whatever we want. You can't unring a ball. You already got the info out. You are correct. Now look, April, you're right. Because now everybody's talking about it. You are correct. Now everybody's talking about it. I did my job. I got another video out there that kind of touches on it a little bit. I do. It's still there. Nina says, I missed that video. I remember it was busy at the time, and when I went to go look for it, yeah, it was gone. Poof. Yeah, gone. Usually in my videos, I can see if they're grayed out by something. Like I said, they'll let me know, like, hey, cut this part out or something like that. Nope. It was like I never made that video. And I made the mistake by not saving that video. I should have saved it. But I didn't. But it's okay because I still have all the information. They can't erase my hard drive in my computer, and they can't erase what's up here. I still remember all of it. I remember all of it. But yes, Nina, that video went so much into the individual's background, okay? That I showed you every single business, what the business did. I even showed you financial records of a couple of the companies that I found. The real estate company that I found that nobody seems to talk about. The business partners that I found. What the other family members do. I went so much into that. And it was maybe a 40-minute video, 45-minute video that I crammed all that information into. I showed everybody every invention that them and their partners did, showed the patents, showed what the inventions did, showed the paperwork, showed it all. Me and Julia worked hard on that one. And we came across and we still had enough information, to do 5 more videos if we want to. Because like I said, there's other names, there's other people, there's other things. But the cost of saying those other things, the cost of saying those other names, that is the issue. So have to be careful and have to really think hard of how to put certain information out there to where you're not getting in trouble, to where you're not getting a letter, to where you're not getting sued. Thank you, Sunshine Lady. Thank you, Sunshine. I know. It's all right. I did my job. And the word's getting out there. I did my job. The word's getting out there. But yeah, that I mean, like I said, day 3 of Nancy. It was day 2 or 3. I don't remember. But when she went missing, that's the first thing we do. The very first thing we do is we have the victim's information and then we start running background checks on the victim. That's the first thing I do. I don't care what the case is, it's the first thing I do, because the news media is, if the suspect is already caught, the news media, I don't care if it's Fox, CNN, CBS, ABC, Disney, if the suspect is caught, what's the news media going to do first? The news media will give you the suspect's background. They will say, oh, he was a convicted unaliver, or he already was in trouble for this. They will tell us this. You got to think about it. Media is always going to tell you the suspect's background. They always do. But they never tell you the victim. They never tell you the story of how all this could have happened. Why this person maybe got unalived in the house. What was the argument about? Why? Got to know all that information. Have to. Some people don't like it. They don't. But it's a tough pill to swallow. If something happened to me, and everybody knows my background. But if something happened to me, and let's say you didn't know my background. Let's say you didn't. Oh, he was a nice guy. He was good in the community, such and such and such. You don't know that maybe something in my background from the past, somebody didn't like me from jail or something, found me and, but it's because you didn't know. But if you did the background, it's like, oh yeah, this happened to him. Oh, he did. Oh yeah. Oh, it could be possible. That makes sense. Yeah. Guys, you never know. Free speech is not free after all. Mikey says he broke it down very well. Mike, yeah, you saw that video. Tammy says you don't have freedom on truth on the deep state. On the deep state. I deserve a round of applause for that one, on the deep state. I don't watch very many channels, but the video was a couple months ago, and I have just recently seen the name mentioned by others finally. Yeah. You're right. And people are getting in trouble too, mentioning the name. It's funny. Now they're getting in trouble. And here's the thing, guys. That name, and people don't understand this. For any creator that's watching this right now, that name is very powerful. That name is no joke. Please be careful. That name, once again, is no joke. That name is powerful. I'm talking about, we all looked up Savannah's net worth. That name is worth more than Savannah's. Trust me, I've seen the financials. I've seen the business records. I've seen the real estates. I've seen the transactions with other countries. A lot of people don't know this. The reason why I only know this is because I have a couple businesses. And when you own a company, you can report to make your transactions public. And you can actually see your financials public on business if you know exactly where to go look. This is how Wall Street works. This is why when you watch, let's say, MSNBC, and they say this company's out the red or this company's in the black, how do you think they know that? Because the financials the company made public. And the reason why a company will make financials public is so they can look good to investors. They can look good to, and I'm not talking about Joe Smo down the street investor. I'm talking about like JP Morgan Chase investors. I'm talking about Washington Mutual investors, things like that. Because all they have to do is look at your public financials and be like, oh, well, yeah, this company's bringing in $20 million a year. Of course, we'll give him a $10 million loan. No interest for 5 years, guys. Matter of fact, here, let's just own 1.5%. We'll give you 20 million of the equal amount you made last year. It's public. So these people are no joke. They're really not. They have influence, power, financial backings, connections that we saw that is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And the thing is, what we saw, I know, is probably just a tip of it, because not everything is going to be public. There's going to be a lot that's private too that you can't see. So just a fair warning. Sunshine Lady says she keeps popping up in your LinkedIn. Were you searching? You must have been, were you searching her? You must have been searching her. Nina says, wow, that was a lot of info to be deleted. Hope now you save the videos for future. Yes, yes. Certain videos I do save now. But like I said, I still have all the information saved. So I still have everything saved. I still know where to go for everything. So that I do know. If I ever have to do something again, I know how to do it and know where to go. Love your videos. I watch you just about every day. I'm from Maryland. DMV's in the house. DMV's here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. $1 billion. I'm not saying it's not, but I wouldn't be shocked if it is, just because of the inventions. These inventions are being used by government officials. Has anybody ever got a government contract? You can go right onto the government's website. Let me get my I'm gonna teach you guys something real quick. Get your pens and pencils, guys. Let me teach you guys something real quick, all right? This might help you out. For anybody that owns any kind of business, I'm gonna teach you something real quick. I know this is true crime. This is gonna go with it, but let me teach you something to better yourselves if you want to try this route. Hold on, I gotta plug in my laptop because it's dying. Hold on real quick. Let me plug my laptop in. And I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to give me about 10 minutes. I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to teach you how you could make potentially a lot of money if you do this the right way with government. And this is what they're doing. Something they don't teach you in school. All right, so guys, you can go on government websites. All right. I'll show you right now. You can go on government websites. Let's see here. Let me show you this. Let me share my screen. And this can go for anybody. Let me move this over. You can go right here, sam.gov. All right, sam.gov. Okay. You see how it says search contract opportunities. Contract opportunities. All right. Federal contracts. Federal contracts. All right. You can go right here to sam.gov. Now, for example, let's say you got a business. It could be any kind of business. Let's just say it could be a cleaning business. Let's put cleaning. Oh, look what pops up. Look. You got a cleaning business. These are contracts that you can get if you have a cleaning business. Building drone cleaning service, VA Loma Linda Healthcare Systems. All right. U.S. Representative Maintenance Services, kitchen cleaning, portable toilet services, Civil Air Patrol. So these are all pretty much listings. You can go on here, list your business. You can look for government contracts. So let's say you got a cleaning business. Let's just say you got a cleaning business, right? Once you get approved on sam.gov, get approved, because I think you have to go get approved first. Then you can start bidding for contracts. So let's say you have a Social Security office that needs to be cleaned. Social Security office is federal. That's a federal building. Social Security office needs to be cleaned. Maybe 5 times a week, vacuumed, whatever it is, after they close. You can bid on that Social Security building right here on, let me pull this over, sam.gov. You tell them how much you want to clean it for. You tell them everything else. Next thing you know, now you have your company has a legit contract with the government. Now you're in the door. Now you can get other contracts cleaning other Social Security buildings. Now one in this county. Now maybe one in this county. Now your business is growing. Now you're making lots of money. Now you can open the door. It could be for anything, guys. The pens. I don't have a pen on me. The pens they use, the paper that they print on, okay? In these buildings, the federal buildings, plain white paper that they print on. You will see a federal contract for that. So if you got a paper printing business or a printing business, they just need the paper. You got to, let me send them white paper. Let me send them, they don't have time to go to Office Max. Let me send them the white paper. Oh, they need a bunch of pens? Oh yeah, let me send them pens. You can drop ship the pens if you want to. Don't mean you got to make the pens. I'm talking about pen that you write with. Like I said, they're not going to Office Max. They're getting the stuff shipped to them. How do you think it's coming to them? Contracts. So these people, the ones we're talking about, because I'm not going to say their names, have official contracts right through here. Right through here, what I'm showing you. Have official contracts. That is just the surface level. So imagine what else they're doing. Just imagine. How did they get the contracts? How much money are they making with these contracts? Makes you think, huh? Makes you think. Makes you think. Some of these inventions are contracted, but the transactions and the finances are private because it goes into homeland defense sector. They don't want that public. They don't want China to see that we spent $10 billion maybe on a lamp that kills DNA. I'm just saying. They don't want Russia to see that maybe we spent $25 million on a system or a device big as your phone that can bypass all Wi-Fi and security cameras. I'm just saying. They don't want that public. So that's something I can't see that, but I can see something was done. But guys, for any of you that have a business out there, yes, you can go right here to sam.gov. You can start searching. You have to get approved first. Then you can start searching, and then you can start filtering it out. Okay, like right here. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. See what it shows. All right. So you can submit a contract right now for this job opportunity with the government. Building drone cleaning services via Loma notice. And then right here, if you go down here, it says product service code, Telstra, this is da. But this is what this does. This is what this is. Kills the. I see what you did there. And I'm glad you caught on to that. Glad you caught on to that. Chess, not checkers. Chess, not checkers. Glad you caught on to that. I never knew about this site. Wow, mind blown. Yes, now you know. I'm hoping that maybe this can help at least one person out there that might have a business and they're trying to figure out a way to grow it. Like I said, it could be anything. It could be they need pens to write with, PEN. You don't have to make pens. All you have to do is submit that you can supply the pens. And this is how much it's going to cost them. And now you're ordering pens from Temu or something and shipping it to them. That's all you have to do. It can be for paper clips. I've seen the littlest things on this website. The littlest things. So I hope this helps somebody out that has a business or trying to look to start a business or maybe get a way into the door. Because once you get into one government contract, you are in there. And that's just one. I believe there's another website. That's the one I know of. I believe there's another one too. Private business contracts, federal being paid with our correct. Tammy's correct. You're correct. So technically, if you live in a state where you have to pay federal tax, if you get a contracted job, your money's coming back to you. Your money's coming back to you because you're paying the federal government, not the federal government's paying you. Give me my money back. But I hope that taught somebody something, showed somebody something. But yes, I showed you that because that's what these people are doing. Don't want to name any names, but that's what these people are doing. Exactly what I told. And that's just one part of the business, just one part of a company. But hey, you didn't hear that from me, right? You heard it from somebody else. Heard it from somebody else, not me. Well, guys, I was going to ask when you're doing a live, but you're doing a live now. Yeah, I just got done. I was doing it. I was on live with Black Link Magazine. So make sure you go follow them. I was on live with Black Link Magazine. We were talking about Nolan Wells. When I get off here, I'm going to upload a video on Nolan Wells about the photo of the pool. I'm going to break that down to you guys. On everything that I found about that photo. Also, an interview that was done by a retired judge out of Mississippi, which was actually pretty good. So I'm gonna show you some clips of what he said as well. And there's some other stuff. And then I got a Ciders video coming too about the 16 kids that was found in the house. So I got another video about that. I didn't forget about them. Not at all. So got another video about that too. Angela Raven says, of course I'm late. Well, better late than never. I'm glad you're alive, Angela. Glad you're alive. I hope you guys had fun. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I always appreciate when you guys take the time out your day to tune in or even watch any of my videos. I really appreciate that. So please stay tuned. I got the next video coming up. It's coming up in about a couple hours, actually. I have to finish doing it. and then I'm gonna load it for you guys. All right. Thank you so much. You guys take care of each other. Love one another. Like I always say. Until next time, I'm out.